No, we're not here to give jobs just to give jobs. I was here in Building and Grounds as a master plumber. I did all the plumbing for the city, all 48 buildings. We saved a lot of money. I have all the records. I can prove it. We had a heating and cooling guy. He saved a lot of money. Not only did that, I also built the stage. I built the crime lab. I put the deck on the church. So it's just not one thing. They're here all the time. My legacy cost was a 401k. Anybody we hired out, their legacy cost is a 401k. It's a third of what a normal employee was getting before. So that's my argument. We should be doing it in-house. I'll be voting no.
Who made the motion? Would you be going to withdraw the motion and entertain a postponement for 2 weeks?
I know part of the action on this item is a MDEQ requirement. Do we have a time frame affiliated if we were to, I don't know if there's a deadline, maybe we could get some information on the time frame wise, what harm that potentially could cause.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I think that this is somewhat reactive to a recent MDEQ audit.
Councilman, Madam Chair. This is a sort of a reaction. We've been in violation of not having a cross-connection program for at least 5 years that I know of.
Yeah, because I did it, I did it the last time. So.
And we are required to do 1,100 inspections right now just on the commercial properties, which equates to $44 per inspection, which is, we can't do it at that price in-house because it's more than just an inspection. There's violation letters, there's notification letters, there's follow-up. And if you break that down to the $44 on 1,100 stops, and we are required to have this, our forms that we had filled out to the MDEQ cross-connection program for inspections was 0. And they pointed that out in our recent audit, and we are in violation currently. And I did assure her when the MDEQ at the time that we were in the process of putting a program together, and this is a program that I recommend, highly recommend. It's very cost effective. I work with this company. I do not have a personal relationship with them. I have worked with them in 2 other communities, do a very good job. They run the entire program, everything from the inspections to notifications from beginning to end. And I am requesting that this get approved without delay so we can start this program immediately. It's going to take a long time to go through 1,100 commercial properties. You're not going through them, like you got to make appointments, you got to get in there, you got to work on their time frame. And this company also does not work on our hours. They do work on other hours than what the city's hours are.
Madam Chair, again, 2 weeks, I don't see how that's going to hurt anything. That's my opinion.
Sure. I guess my question about postponement would be, what do we hope to accomplish over those 2 weeks? Because if there's nothing that significant that's going to come out of those 2 weeks, I don't understand what the postponement.
Madam Chair, to be very clear, we don't have somebody qualified on staff.
We would have to train or hire from the outside.
Okay, I would just like to say this is businesses like this, I'm sure they're awesome. But they're in business because they will make a profit. And there's always that margin of profit that ultimately the city could save in many contracts. And I support Mr. Johnson on that. However, since there is a time consideration here, how about if we compromise and do a 1-year contract, and in the meantime, do some more homework?
Madam Chair, just real quick to a point on that, we're 5 years behind, so I don't think 2 weeks would cost us anything. But just a real quick question, Mr. Bach, you've been here a month now, roughly?
Roughly, yes, sir.
Have you been able to get, have you been able to evaluate the DPW and that? My question is to you, do you believe that our DPW has enough workers in it to basically run the city the size of Taylor?
With the current jobs plus this?
Yes, with the current
No,
staff.
I believe that our staff needs to be increased.
Absolutely, I agree.
Madam Chair, and as far as qualified staff, I trained the last guy to do this in 2 weeks. So we have people over there that know this, one of them being the general foreman, that know this, that could train somebody on this.
Madam Chair, I'm still not hearing an argument that says it'll definitely be cheaper. I don't
either, that's
I
why
don't know if one person could make 1,100 stops. I don't know if one person could handle all the paperwork and the response time and the reporting. It sounds like this company is probably going to have multiple people working on this contract, which might indicate that the city of Taylor would need multiple people, and we're not going to get multiple people at 48 grand a year. It's not going to happen. So in the absence of having evidence to the contrary, knowing that it's an MDEQ requirement, and knowing that we're behind, and knowing that it's probably not going to get better in the next 2 weeks, I won't rescind my motion to approve. I'm willing to speak going forward about individual issues that we're finding out that could be kept in-house, but only if there's evidence that keeping it in-house is cheaper and more effective.
To you, Mr. Johnson, Councilman Johnson, does it require a specific, or actually you, Mr. Bach, credentials or training to report to the MDEQ?
It would require training. There's no special licenses for the inspection, just for the testing, which this is a part of. But they have to be able to identify where it goes, what type of backflow preventer to put in certain situations. These are critical. These are commercial. Plus, they have high hazards in these also that require yearly inspections. We are required to inspect all of them in 3 years, every 3 years, but there are also high hazard that we have to inspect every year. So this is a continuous program that we are lacking at the moment, and we are trying our best to come up with a program so we can be in compliance and do it efficiently.
And Madam Chair, and that's why we had it in-house all those years, because it was a continuous program. Once it's caught up, this program don't take, I mean, we're behind. We were behind with all the inspections. We're still behind with the inspections, building inspections. That hasn't changed in 3 years. So, again, my vote would be no unless we decide to postpone it, maybe get some numbers, maybe get another company to come in and look at it.
Madam Chair, we'll do whatever the pleasure of the council is. The 2 weeks will definitely set us back that much farther. Again, we can put it back out for bid. We can. I don't know that we're going to get any other people to bid on it. I think Jason, it was on Mitten for 3 weeks.
Yeah, roughly about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. It was out for bid, and we had one company bid on it. We're happy to place it back out, but at the end of the day, we have a requirement. We have a mandated requirement from DEQ, and what I don't want to do is nothing.
And Madam Chair, and I agree with that, and that's why I brought it up 3 years ago, and that's why I brought it up with Dave Mackey. I've been continually bringing it up. We haven't tested our own backflows in the city in 5 years that are in city buildings. So I agree with that, but at some point we got to say, and I agree with Dan, it's got to be cost effective. But when you're trying to catch up, it's never going to be cost effective.
Madam Chair, this is not a one-person job. There's a lot of administrative responsibilities with this. I suspect, and I have not talked to Keith about this, it's probably 2 to 2.5 people that would be required to manage this program for a 3-year period. The loaded cost on that would far exceed $48,000 annually.
Madam Chair, I want to make sure that we're all in agreement that this was competitively bid, that it did go out. I don't know if from a purchasing perspective that we would speak to if we don't get the number of bidders that we wanted, or if we don't like the bidder we want, if we would automatically choose to go back out and hope someone else looks at it. We did it. It's out there. It was there for 3 weeks. Whoever wanted to jump in, jumped in, and we've got one. It meets the requirements. It's probably cheaper than doing it in-house. Waiting 2 weeks to find out that it's a 2.5-person job that would cost the city $150 grand is not time well spent.
And can I just make one comment, Madam Chair? There's always a problem exposing a bid also after it's been opened, and we did go out to competitive bid. When you got the other person, there is exposure there.
So that was my point about from a purchasing perspective.
Yes.
Once we
Yeah, I agree.
disclose it and open it, what would stop any other potential bidder from waiting until after we open the bids and then come in at the 11th hour and say, I want in and I'll do it cheaper?
I guess, I think this issue is perhaps bringing a number of things to a boiling point that some of us at different times feel like there should be more people in-house doing specific jobs. For instance, the painting that was discussed tonight, and also this. I would still put it out there to council. Would you consider changing the motion to 1 year?
Madam Chair, I don't know if the contract allows a 1-year option. It is a 3-year. I did not look at the RFP as it was issued, but I don't recall seeing a 1-year option on it.
I'm just trying to suggest a compromise so that we don't end up
Madam Chair?
shooting ourselves in the foot more or less. And
I just, can I make one more comment?
Sure.
I've administered these programs, and they are very time consuming, and we currently do not have the people in place to do a cross-connection program.
Right, that's why I suggested
time,
1 year,
yes.
that would give us that time to really start examining this kind of thing in every department, not just.
Madam Chair, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's one of the issues that I have, is that it seems like at DPW, that's what we're hearing all the time. We constantly don't have enough people, and it's from one run from one fire to the next. There's no daily plan. It's, hey, don't do that today, go do this. And I'm all for, hey, if things are slow and we don't need to go find something to do and all that stuff. But like Charlie said, is we're not getting caught up on anything. We're running and the fires are getting bigger, in my opinion. And that's why I struggle to do things like this all the time, because I feel like if we had somewhat of an adequate staff, numbers wise, I think we could do a lot more of this, and I think there is a cost savings.
Madam Chair, I want to speak to that. I hear this generalized statement that we don't have enough staff, and I don't think any of us disagree with that. We've met several times since Keith has been here about what is the right number. We're not 10 people light. We're a couple people that we need to look at. I believe there's positions that are currently posted. We have a requirement to post them in-house, and then we post them to the outside world. I believe there's 1 or 2 that are currently out there. We're going through that process as we speak, but we're not bringing back 10 people, or it's really going to be a small number. It's what the budget allows. I mean, we guys sat through the budget process. There's not a lot of money. We're trying to comply, and we're trying to meet that. We've had a couple of recent retirements. We're filling those spots. We've had some internal moving, but there's a process you have to go through to get to that. But in terms of overall being light, there's definitely some shortages, but it's not sizable.
Madam Chair, I agree with that, but I don't think we're bringing, people retired quite a while ago, and we still haven't filled those spots, and then we continue to hire more management. That takes, in my opinion, I think we're getting, and this is my opinion, we've got too many generals and not enough infantrymen, and we need people on the ground doing the work, and that's my opinion. If you think we're 1 or 2 light, you're the mayor, and that's your decision, but I totally disagree with you on that.
Madam Chair.
Just as Councilman Lloyd, he's not the only person that feels that way. That's not just.
So we're getting way off track to item number 24, where we're debating whether or not we're spending taxpayer dollars wisely by giving this company 48 grand to do something that was required, and getting into all these other tangents about whether or not we had more people. There's a time and a place for that argument, and there's some valid arguments on either side. But right now, I'm looking at number 24, which will not be done cheaper in-house. And I will not choose to spend more taxpayer dollars just to hire a city employee. That's not what people elected us to do. I will definitely be voting yes.
Madam Chair, I just don't want to lose the vision on what's going on. This is to provide safe water, and this is a very important part of doing that, and I just don't want anyone to lose sight.
And Madam Chair, and I appreciate that, and that's why I've been saying it for 3-4 years now. I've been saying it, I was saying it with the last administration. So it is very important. I will agree with Mr. Becerra in his position. I believe we have someone in the DPW that could have started this 3 years ago, and we wouldn't be in this situation. But that didn't happen. So right now, I'm looking at something that was administered and taken care of for 20 years that we're playing catch-up on, and I don't agree with it. So again, I'll be voting no.